I started doing plays and stuff in middle school and high school, and then when I first moved to California, I started doing student films and theater productions. So after that, it took me 3 years to get an agent, and after that, it took me 1.5 years to get, so probably 4.5 years after moving out there to start working, but then working consistently was another 3 years after that. Music plays a big part in the characters that I play, so I try and put together an iPod playlist of of songs that I think the character would listen to, or the writer. I get a list of 10 or 20 albums from the writers, go out and buy them, make mixes out of them, and kind of create a world around the character to make it believable. But so no, going to college didn't help at all. Not for what I wanted to do. It helped in the sense that I could carry on an articulate conversation in a room full of idiot actors who moved out when they were 15 years old from Iowa, or from elsewhere. I don't mean Iowa necessarily. I don't think I ever wanted to say screw college. I realized in probably around 8th or 9th grade that this was something that I really wanted to do. And my personal belief on education is to do it for the sake of education, especially if you're a filmmaker or somebody whose job is going to be enhanced by your actual learning as opposed to your GPA. So Kal Kumar is a good example of that. It wasn't easy to sell that script, even though it sold quickly, but a lot of people passed on the script and said that they really liked it, but they don't think that a film with an Indian American and Asian American actor as the two leads is going to sell no matter what the content is. I personally think that the audience is not as actively racist, and if you give them something that's funny because it's funny, they're not really going to care what the characters look like. But unfortunately, because the model of using race to define what sells has been used before, that's what the studios know for a fact, they make money. And with any sort of artistic endeavor or pushing the boundaries of anything, there's the fear that if you change anything up, that it's not going to make you any money. I think that's the reason why it's slow to change.
What do you think of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom?
I hate Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I think it's a pathetic film. So that movie came out when I was in elementary school. I think it was in first grade or something. And there are Indian dudes eating monkey brains and snakes in the movie. And it's based on a fictitious place that they happen to decide that they should cast Indians to be in it. So nobody would sit next to me at lunch for like months because they all thought I had monkey brains in my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I take issue with that film. I will never be able to watch it independent of those experiences. Yeah.
So you don't smoke weed?
Whether you smoke weed or not, when you're shooting something, you can't have alcohol or drugs on set, otherwise your insurance policy is nullified. And if everybody was high all the time or drunk, you wouldn't get much done. And I also don't smoke, so I know disappointing for you, I'm sorry.
So are you for or against legalization of marijuana?
I would be for it.
Why?
Because I think that the prison system is too filled with petty criminals, and it's taking away resources from public education. And there's a direct correlation between those two. And I think that the judicial system in our country also disproportionately targets the poor, women, and people of color. And I think that since we're not really trying to equalize that, we might as well look at the things that are being unfairly targeted. And I don't understand why you would take money away from public schools to put people who smoke weed in jail. Just doesn't make much sense to me.
All right, let's give a big UH thank you.
I thought it was pretty groundbreaking. I really enjoyed it when I saw it, and I thought, it worked on several different levels. One, it was just really funny, and the other, had a nice, great social commentary. I think if we can have more projects like that, Asian Americans and minorities of all races and creeds will be in good shape.
Take more pictures, please.
With me? Yeah!
Thank you.
No problem with you. It's nice to meet you.
The film, it's sort of a slice of life story. It's about a family. The husband and wife move from abroad and start their lives in New York City, and they have a son. Because of a couple of traditional reasons and confusion, they and circumstance, they named their son after the Russian author Nikolai Gogol. So he's this American kid with a Russian name with Indian parents growing up in New York City, and it's not the like stereotypical identity story. It's actually this kid who, for very unique reasons, is struggling with why he was named Gogol. And it just kind of follows his life. Sure. Well, with any for anybody who wants to go into filmmaking, especially Asian Americans, I think that we hear no a lot. Like, no, you can't do it. No, you shouldn't do this. I know my guidance counselor and one of my high school advisors told me that I would be throwing my life away if I became an actor, and I'm just glad that I didn't listen to them. So I would, I guess, offer that advice too.